Hi, my name is Bob Hill. I'm the president of the Church of Scientology Mission of Riverdale at 308 Broadview Avenue in Toronto. The topic of today's sermon is something can be done about it. Scientology is a practical religion. It teaches a person how to know. That's what the word Scientology means, knowing how to know. Do you sometimes feel like there's just too much going on? Where do you start? Is it better to just sleep and avoid looking at all the tasks you should be doing? Today's sermon is based on information from the Scientology Handbook, Chapter 12, Solutions for a Dangerous Environment, by L. Ron Hubbard, who explains, one can safely assume that there is always something about a situation the person can confront, by which we mean easily face up to without flinching. Okay? Flinching is to draw back from. If you can confront, that means you can look at something easily without drawing back from it. For example, let's say your work truck is really dirty and full of garbage. It may be hard to confront doing something about it, but I'm going to explain how to do something about situations that seem too difficult to handle. Okay? Good stuff. This is a principle which forms the basic of a solution for many who are overwhelmed by the environment. Overwhelmed means to make feel helpless, crushed, like being buried under a flood of water. Too much bad news can be overwhelming. Too much to do, too many demands, too much debt. Do you have an area in your life where you feel overwhelmed? You got one? Good. Something can be done about it. Do you know someone who is overwhelmed? I'm going to give you some steps to help them. Finding something that the person can confront is essential to getting his or her agreement to handle it. The first level of help is there is something that can be done about it. And the second level contains the element that you can do. Giving a person something he or she can confront and get done starts to give him the idea that the situation can be handled. Let's take the dirty work truck. You would ask them what they could confront. Perhaps the person can confront getting rid of the old coffee cups in the truck or shaking out the floor mats. They can face up to one thing and agree to handle it. So that is where you start. You got it? So you find one thing they can agree to and one thing they can handle it, and that's where you start. Someone overwhelmed by bad news, well, what you can do is maybe get the person to go out in the garden. Maybe you could say, what could you do if you can't take the bad news? Say, well, I can go to the garden and look at the flowers. Okay, we'll start with that. You have to work out with the person what they are willing to confront. The principle of giving a person something they can confront doing is fabulously useful in many areas. People often don't know how to get any further along in life. They know they cannot make any improvement in life, that it is impossible to do any better at all. But using this data, this factor idea, one can easily demonstrate, even to a whole group, that it is possible to get better. It would be done in the following manner. Start by advising the person you want to help. I want to help you. Write down on a piece of paper a short list of problems you have in your life. You got it? Good. Now, examples could be having to clean the house, wash the dishes, wash clothes, fix up the backyard, pay bills, need a haircut, get groceries, lose weight. These are common things. When he has done that, ask, which one of those is the easiest for you to confront? Now write that down. You ask the person, and they say the easiest thing to confront is the backyard. So you have them write down, fix up the backyard. Then tell them, write down what you absolutely know for sure you could do about the last thing you wrote down. And finally, tell them. Now, you see what you've written down at the bottom of the page? Do it. The person may say, I can put garbage in a garbage bag. So you have them do it. Okay? Now I'm going to give you a personal example. I have a large affinity for animals. I like being around animals. And it would have been, or would be overwhelming to think, well, have that guy go and walk into a lion's cage. That would be overwhelming. So you might say, well, what did I feel was not overwhelming with animals? So where do I start? And in my case, I started by getting myself a horse at a young age. And in that particular horse, he couldn't be broken. He was wild. My father couldn't break him. My uncle couldn't break him. So finally, after 2 weeks, when I say break him, I mean make him able to ride. After 2 weeks, they gave up on him. But I could confront walking the horse around and petting the horse. So I did that for a period of time. And after about 2 weeks, 3 weeks of that, I got on the horse's back. And of course, the horse moved a bit and then he threw me off. And then I got back on. And eventually, after about 2 weeks, I was able to ride the horse. And him and I became great friends. So that's an example. And then from there, I looked at all kinds of other animals and I got involved with them. And it was pleasurable. Okay? So use of this principle can be of enormous assistance to people in social work, in leading groups, in teaching and lecturing, and many other areas. Don't tell people about problems that they know they cannot do anything about and expect them to be enthusiastic about accomplishing anything. Neither the problem being pointed out nor the suggested solution must exceed the ability to confront on the part of the person to what is being addressed. So, the problem and the solution must be confrontable by the person. Okay? Good stuff. The easiest thing to relay is an idea, but the idea must not violate the potential to confront of the individual who is expected to execute it. There is an old datum in leadership that don't expect someone to do what you yourself could not do or are unwilling to do. And that's pretty important. So when you're in a position where you're running a group or maybe a group of only 2 or 3 people, don't expect those people to do what you yourself cannot confront and handle. You got that? Can you think with that? Because how could you possibly expect them to confront and handle it? You couldn't. So something can be done about any situation. And this is how to help others improve situations. 1, rapidly get an estimation of what the person thinks is wrong. Then 2, find out which one of the points can he confront. And then 3, find out what he is going to do about the point that he thinks he can do. And 4, get him to do it. And at that point, you become terribly insistent on the subject of getting the point done. Okay? Since what the people are being asked to do is confrontable to them, they will be able to handle their problems and succeed at it. As a result, they will be able to see and confront more of their difficulties, and the above sequence can be repeated. So those steps you can do over and over again. A new review of the general situation will find they have an improved idea of what is potentially confrontable among their problems. Okay? So as you do it, you're raising the person's confront, and they'll get more and more and more, and they will improve. You can, of course, make your own list of problems, pick the one that is the easiest to face, decide what you're going to do about it, and do it. Okay? Good stuff. I will now read for you the prayer for total freedom. May the author of the universe enable all men to reach an understanding of their spiritual nature. May awareness and understanding of life expand so that all may come to know the author of the universe, and may others also reach this understanding, which brings total freedom. At this time, we think of those whose liberty is threatened, of those who have suffered imprisonment for their beliefs, of those who are enslaved or martyred, and for all those who are brutalized, trapped, or attacked. We pray that human rights will be preserved, so that all people may believe and worship freely, so that freedom will once again be seen in our land. Freedom from war and poverty and want, freedom to be, freedom to do, and freedom to have. Freedom to use and understand man's potential, a potential that is God-given and God-like. And freedom to achieve that understanding and awareness that is total freedom. May God let it be so. So, problems, situations, something can be done about it. Use this step-by-step approach, starting with confront, and make things better. And do well. The Scientology handbook chapters are available in booklets. I recommend Solutions for a Dangerous Environment at this point in time. Booklets and videos with details how to stay well are also available online. Join us next Sunday for more ways to help improve life. Thank you.